Hello and welcome to George Washington News.
A lot has happened this month. We'll be talking about the Trump administration, the latest updates on the recent plane crash at Reagan National Airport, and the People's March in D.C.
We will also cover GW's annual Day of Service, as well as updates from our lifestyle correspondents on a Lego exhibition and a new musical coming to the Kennedy Center. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. I'm Abigail Brubaker.
And I'm Nina Rodriguez. It's been a busy news cycle, so let's get started. Venezuela recently swore in its incumbent president, Nicolas Maduro, for his third consecutive term, as a result of his citizens and other countries, including the U.S., questioning his victory on this election. He claims that his third term will be, quote, of peace, of prosperity, of equality, and the new democracy, unquote. During this past summer, many Venezuelans went to the streets to protest the credibility of the election, and many others fled the country for lack of opportunity and economic stability. Throughout the world, however, his opponent, Edmundo Gonzalez, will be recognized as the Venezuelan president.
On January 18th, the People's March took to the streets of Washington, D.C., protesting for abortion rights, immigration rights, and LGBTQ+ rights, as well as the recognition of climate change and calling for action to be taken against the Trump administration's policies. Vivian Williams has the story.
I'm here at the People's March, where thousands of people are marching from issues ranging from climate justice, reproductive rights, D.C. local issues, and more.
Saturday, January 18th, thousands of people rallied in Washington and in cities across the country as part of the People's March, a protest against the incoming Trump administration. This targeted issues such as women's rights, immigration rights, and rights for the LGBTQ+ community, as well as racial and religious minorities. Organizers reported 50,000 people attended the event in D.C., just 2 days before the inauguration. Civil rights, racial justice, and reproductive health organizations joined together to plan the demonstration, which was motivated by a range of issues, including abortion rights after the overturning of Roe v. Wade, climate change, economic issues, gun violence prevention, and securing expanded rights for immigrants.
At the People's March, we are calling out the people who use power to strip our freedoms. We are calling in we the people, and we are calling on all of us to fight.
Crowds for the demonstration, the largest permitted protests scheduled in the days surrounding Trump's inauguration, were below those of the history-making Women's March the day after he took the oath in 2017, when more than 1 million people gathered in the district and elsewhere in what was widely considered the country's largest single-day protest. Organizers of this year's demonstration said they kept the long game in mind and are planning further marches in the future.
Are you all ready to fight?
Thanks, Vivian. GW's Mount Vernon Express shuttle was reportedly close to hitting a manned car. Around 1:10 p.m. yesterday, a GW alert was sent out citing urgent police activity near the Whitehaven Parkway entrance, advising all community members to avoid the area. After the close collision near Washington Circle, students claimed the man followed the shuttle to the Vern. First-year student Jordan Juliano said, quote, this blue Chevy with his door wide open is following us, and that was a little scary because he's following us. We don't know what he does, if he has a gun, if he has a weapon, what his intention was, end quote.
Last week, Donald Trump was inaugurated to serve a historic second term as President of the United States. Nicole Akumite has the story.
The presidency and vice presidency. The swearing-in took place in the Capitol Rotunda due to forecasted sub-freezing temperatures. At noon on Inauguration Day, the temperature was recorded at 27 degrees with windy conditions. This was the first time an inauguration was moved indoors since Ronald Reagan's in 1985, with the temperature recorded at just 7 degrees. The presidential inaugural parade was moved into Capitol One Arena as well due to the freezing temperatures. In an online post preceding the ceremony, Trump wrote, quote, we will open Capitol One Arena on Monday for live viewing of this historic event and to host the presidential parade. I will join the crowd at Capitol One after my swearing in, end quote. The ceremony included many notable guests from the Trump family, including his wife Melania, children Tiffany, Eric, Ivanka, Donald Jr., and Barron, along with their spouses and the grandchildren of the president. Most notably, ultra-wealthy tech CEOs also attended, including Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, Amazon Executive Chairman Jeff Bezos, Google CEO Sundar Pichai, and Tesla Chief Executive Elon Musk. Forbes estimated that the combined wealth of the billionaires in attendance amounted to $1.35 trillion. Behind the tech leaders were Trump's cabinet appointees, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Trump's pick to lead the Department of Health and Human Services, and former Florida Senator Marco Rubio. President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were in attendance and were grouped with the former presidents Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama, along with their spouses, except for Michelle Obama, who chose not to attend the inauguration. For GWN, I'm Nicola Kumite.
Thanks, Nicole. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. appeared before the Senate yesterday for his confirmation hearing, facing sharp questioning from lawmakers on his policy positions and past controversial statements. Senators grilled Kennedy on his views regarding public health, environmental policy, and his political affiliations. Supporters praised his independence, while critics raised concerns over misinformation and his stance on key issues such as vaccines, COVID, and abortion. The hearing highlighted deep partisan divisions, with some senators expressing skepticism about his qualifications. Kennedy defended his record, insisting he would serve with integrity. The committee is expected to vote on his nomination in the coming weeks.
Wednesday night, a commercial plane with 60 passengers and 4 crew members aboard collided with a military Black Hawk helicopter over the Potomac River. Recovery operations continue, with officials presuming there were no survivors as investigations persist on how this collision occurred. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser commented on the incident, saying, quote, "We all share in a profound sense of grief," end quote. 14 of the victims were confirmed to be figure skaters traveling from the U.S. National Figure Skating Tournament in Wichita, Kansas, where the flight had departed from. According to a source from CBS, only one air traffic control worker was managing helicopter and flight paths, a job usually done by 2 people. The New York Times has reported that staffing last night was, quote, "not normal," end quote.
Donald Trump's return to the White House has not only caused conflicting feelings on a national level, but on a global level as well. Global leaders have recently spoke out after the recent U.S. inauguration. Here's Christina Stasis to tell us more.
As the Trump administration begins its second term, multiple countries have weighed in their opinions on Trump's executive orders made on his first days of presidency. According to CBS, the UK minister does not seem to feel threatened by this new Trump administration, as he believes the long-standing affection and historical ties that the US has with the UK will continue even after being attacked by Trump's key advisor and donor, Elon Musk. Trump has maintained a working relationship with Vladimir Putin, often being criticized for not speaking against the Russian president. However, after being inaugurated, Trump has finally begun to denounce Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Some global leaders are choosing to take a more defensive stance. Panama's president, Jose Raul Mulino, intends to stand their ground when faced with Trump's executive orders. Trump has stated that he will take back control of the Panama Canal. President Mulino doesn't seem to be intimidated, as he does not find Trump's statement serious, according to Reuters. One of the most controversial promises President Trump made during his inaugural speech was to increase military presence along the Mexican border. Trump has recently signed an executive order to have a more aggressive approach to illegal immigration. On January 24th, 2 Air Force planes carried 160 deportees total, with plans to land in Mexico. But according to NBC News, Mexico denied the plane access to land. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum opposes Trump taking unilateral action to implement restrictive immigration standards. This being only the second week of Donald Trump's presidency, time will tell how global leaders react to his future plans and orders. From GWN, I'm Christina Stasis.
Thanks, Christina. Up next, more headlines and a check-in on the weather with our very own weatherman Dan. Stay tuned.
evening and welcome back from winter break. My name is Dan Salim, aka Weatherman Dan. With spring on its way and that crazy groundhog about to rear its head, we've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. Obviously, we're going to be looking at this upcoming week's weather. It's a pleasant change of scene from the really cold start of the semester. We'll talk more about what changed, but for now, we're going to focus on our higher than average temperatures. We're starting off with a pretty rainy day on Friday, but tomorrow temperatures are going to hold an average of 46 degrees. Friday is then followed by a sunny Chinese New Year with a high of 48 and a low of 31 degrees. Not too bad as we start off the first of the month. Clouds are going to start to drift into the picture as we hit Sunday, also bringing us our coldest day of the upcoming week with temperatures hitting a chilly 26 degrees, so keep that jacket around. But luckily, temperatures are going to go back up and normalize with a warm Monday hitting 60 degrees with some sun in the afternoon. As for the rest of the week, expect some conditions similar to today with some sun, clouds, and an average temp hanging around 45 to 50 degrees. Overall, don't let the sun fool you. We still have a couple of colder weeks to go until sitting in front of Duquesne and Colgan Plaza will be comfortable, but have hope because the National Weather Service says that for us here in Washington, D.C., we're going to have a little bit of a warmer time than we have in the past. Now moving on to the touchscreen to talk a little bit about that rain we got on Friday. This green blob right here is the main culprit for that rainy day. But that's going to dissipate soon. Watch how fast it goes by. Goes by on Friday, doesn't come back again, and then we've got that high pressure system that was right up here in the Midwestern region move all the way into D.C., and that is what's going to be responsible for our sunny days that we see over the weekend and into the new week. Now looking up at that north, you're going to see some of that blue area. That's some cold air from the northeast of Canada. That's coming in straight to the northeast coast. It's not going to hit us, but it's probably going to hit the tri-state area along with Pennsylvania. They'll probably get at least 2 to 4 inches of snow, but nothing more. All right, with that being said, hopefully with a warmer February and fewer days and fewer gusts ahead, be ready for pretty moderate and normal weather for events like Super Bowl Sunday next weekend and Valentine's Day. Before we come back to see what that silly groundhog has to say about spring, you know how I feel about him. Stay safe out there, GW. I'm Weatherman Dan. That was your forecast. Signing off till next time. See you around.
Thank you so much, Dan. I have loved the warm weather.
What a surprise,
it's been
right?
so great.
Yes, that's because of the jet streams called appropriately La Nina.
I can take the credit for this one. You're welcome, guys.
Well, thank you, Nina.
All right.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. Up next, hundreds of GW community members volunteered earlier this month for its 30th Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service and Leadership. Simone Submergent has the story.
Welcome back to another segment of GWN's SGA Unlocked, where we highlight some of the recent initiatives our student government has been up to. In this episode, we're going to recap SGA's last semester of new legislation, events, and plans for this spring. I'm Gianna Jacobowski, and let's get started. On Monday, November 18th, the SGA Senate unanimously passed Pro Temp Liz Stoddar's legislation titled the Survivor Bill of Rights, a document that enumerates the rights of survivors of sexual violence, including their right to report, as well as the resources available to them, such as the context of the OAS, CAPS, and Title IX office. The new Bill of Rights isn't the only thing the SGA is doing to change the way GW handles such sensitive issues. A new program titled the Title IX Volunteer Advisor Pilot Program seeks to further connect students with the Office of Title IX through training and integration of these volunteers in a party and casework meeting, as well as, quote, giving them a space to process, end quote. When asked how he plans to enforce these new expectations and programs for both GW students and the Title IX office, SGA President Ethan Fitzgerald commented, quote, it's crucial that we do everything in our power to combat sexual assault, harassment, and violence on campus and beyond, end quote. As for Vice President Ethan Lynn and the SGA Senate staff activity, students are beginning to grow more excited about the G-World transition from physical cards to an Apple Wallet network. This past semester, students living on the Mount Vernon campus had the opportunity to experience this virtual G-World feature. 2 first-years living on the Vern and a Buff and Brew staff member gave us their perspective on the matter. Let's take a look.
I really like it. It's super accessible, and it allows me to get into anything without having to pull out my physical card. I think it should be spread around faster, and I think any facilities that haven't started the option of using the mobile ID should start using them.
First, when they'll usually just have the phone, they'll try to tap it, and we'll tell them we don't tap. So it's been an issue because some students lose their cards, and that's all that they have, and you know, it's kind of a little confusing for them.
I love it. I think they're so great for getting into your room and getting into halls on foggy, especially when you don't want to get out your card and things like that.
As these initiatives of the SGA develop this semester, we'll keep you updated and in the loop of all things that affect you and your campus experience. For GWN, this is Gianna Jacobowski, signing off.
Thanks, Gianna, for that SGA Unlocked segment. Stay tuned for that Day of Service package. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has officially been charged with causing an insurrection after his supporters raided a courthouse. This comes after the president tried to impose martial law back in December and was impeached by the country's parliament. When Yoon was taken to court, protesters stormed the Seoul Western District Court to protest for his innocence. The Constitutional Court of South Korea has now begun deliberations on whether Yoon will be reinstated as president or formally dismissed.
An Amazon Just Walkout store opened on the Mount Vernon campus last week. Students enter the store, called Ames Market, by scanning their G-World, credit, or debit card. A temporary $1 hold is placed on their account, and they simply have to pick out the items they want and walk out without scanning the items. There are no cashiers, no lines, and no checkout. The Amazon technology uses machine learning and radio frequency identification to track what items a customer picks up and puts back. Students get charged on their way out and can scan the QR code for their receipt. The Ames Market is open from 7:30 a.m. until 11 p.m. every day and offers snacks, ice cream, toiletries, and more.
Now a look at GW's 30th Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service and Leadership. Simone has the story.
GW students and local community members came together to honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. through a day of service and leadership on January 18th. This year marked GW's 30th anniversary of the tradition, sponsored by GW's Honey W. Nashman Center for Civic Engagement and Public Service. According to GW Today, there were about 550 volunteers, volunteering an estimated 1,200 hours combined. The day started with volunteers checking in at 10 a.m. in the University Student Center. Everyone waited eagerly to receive their site assignments and were bundled up in case they would be working in outdoors. Locations included soup kitchens, food pantries, and elementary schools. Others remained on campus to work on projects in partnership with organizations such as GW Jumpstart, Miriam's Kitchen, and the AARP. After checking in and receiving a commemorative t-shirt, volunteers were directed to Lisner Auditorium for an opening program and panel discussion. President Gramberg welcomed volunteers, explaining how this day of service is integral to GW's mission and community. Quote, "At GW, we focus on providing our students with real-world experiences that we hope will connect them to their community here in D.C. and across the globe, and build those virtues of empathy, respect, and resilience." End quote. Following opening remarks, GW welcomed Michael D. Smith to moderate a panel discussion with dedicated student leaders from the Nashman Center. Smith was appointed by former President Biden as the Chief Executive Officer of AmeriCorps and closed out his final day serving in this role here at GW. Following the presentation, volunteers grabbed a packaged lunch courtesy of Wawa and headed to the buses to make their way to their service sites. We'll now hear from site leaders and volunteers about their time at St. Francis on the Hill.
The woman who ran it, she was super informative and kind, and it was just a great environment to work at.
This GW community knows how to help people and form community service programs and allow students to engage.
Really just my friends around me who recommended me to do it, and also I just thought it'd be a fun experience and I wanted to give back to the community.
So service is a really big part of my family. I've been growing up serving my community for a long time, and now that I'm here at GW, I kind of want to carry that forward into my college career.
I definitely agree with that. Service is a big thing in our family. It's one of my earliest memories is giving away a box of pizza. So being able to take that into GW now is super important to me.
For GWN, I'm Simone Submergent.
Well, thanks, Simone. After the break, we'll be chatting with our lifestyle correspondents Cassidy and Raina about arts and culture right here in D.C. Watch this space.
Semester of new legislation, events, and plans for this spring. I'm Gianna Jacobowski, and let's get started. On Monday, November 8th.
This is what GW TV is all about.
I'm sorry. I got it now. Okay. God, mother of pearl. I'm so sorry.
I love a dingle.
A dingle really got me. On a flight with Trump.
Actually, yeah, can we restart E-Block?
Oh, this is my astronauts.
Peace would not back. I'm so sorry.
You're scared.
No. Get Carter out of here. I can't do it. I can't do it. Look at him. Look at him. You see him with the little George Washington hat? All right. We'll do it live. Oh, I always wanted to do that. Am I cute? Who's cute? I'm having a good time, and I want to keep doing it.
I am too. I'm having a great time, actually, Jack. This is fantastic.
All right. Coming up, we'll be talking with lifestyle anchors Nita Rodriguez. Sorry. Next up, a mother is suing an AI company over the death of her son. As a quick warning, this story contains mentions of suicide and self-harm. Nicole Akumat.
Read into camera 3, please.
Nicole Akumate. Nicole Akumate has the story.
That's not how you say it. Akumate.
Fuck. You're gonna get and wait for our Q&A. Okay, sorry. Nicole Akumate.
Akumate.
Nicole Akumate. Nicole Akumate has the story. Carter, this water tastes weird.
Can we focus?
Sorry.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Fucking put something who's trying to sabotage me in my performance.
I think that was good. Do you feel comfortable with it?
Yeah.
Okay, slay.
Cool. I think my lips are dry. Do my lips look dry?
Your lips are fine. Read the script.
Oh, okay.
That's all we have for you for this That's all we have for you. Sorry.
Say whatever you want.
Okay. Okay.
Well, that's the spirit, Emma. I love that.
But I don't think I have it in the budget to have 6 costumes.
We're being told we're gonna get started.
Okay. Yeah. Gotta lock in.
Gotta lock in. I think it was good, but I have a feeling that I emphasized a little too much on the Trump one.
No. Hey.
Also, I appreciate everyone who laughed when I first said "so what" in the control room.
Boosted
That was
confidence.
hilarious. A sword, because your last headline you just kept on like. Yeah, exactly. It was hilarious. It was.
Cheers. Amen, Kamala.
Welcome back. Our lifestyle correspondents Cassidy and Raina are here to break down the best events and attractions in D.C. this week. Take it away, Cassidy.
Welcome to a new year with new beginnings. So many new experiences have debuted in D.C. since the beginning of the new year, making it the perfect time to get out and explore the district. I'm Cassidy.
I'm Raina.
And we're here to share brand new local adventures to help you end the month on a high note.
Looking to try new food in the DC area but don't want to break the bank? This week is Winter Restaurant Week, with restaurants participating in a set price of $25 for lunch and $65 for dinner. This is a great opportunity for people wanting to experience food from new cultures, try Michelin star restaurants without going broke, or just to go back to old DMV favorites. Don't miss out on this tasty opportunity.
Whether you're a top Lego collector or occasional builder, make sure to check out the Art of the Brick. Known as the world's most famous exhibit of Lego art, Art of the Brick boasts a whopping 130 plus sculptures made entirely out of Lego bricks. After touring over 100 cities in 24 countries, the exhibit opened today in DC at the Rhode Island Center and will be here for a limited time. From recreations of famous paintings to a larger-than-life T-Rex, this exhibit has plenty of fun in store for people of all ages. Immerse yourself into this world of Lego, with tickets starting at $20.90 for adults and $15.90 for kids.
This new year is also bringing some new fuzzy friends. The pandas are back. Bao Li and Xingbao have made the long journey from China to our backyard at the Smithsonian National Zoo in DC. While they arrived in October, they were quarantined, so this is the first time they have seen the American public in over 24 years. If you're too busy with work or other less important things to see them in person, don't stress. A panda cam will be available from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on the Smithsonian website. Get in on the pandemonium.
This last one is for our theater kids at heart. Don't miss your chance to be in the audience for a world premiere of a musical. Schmigadoon will be premiering at the Kennedy Center's Eisenhower Theater tomorrow evening. The musical is a stage adaptation of the hit Apple TV series that follows the lives of two doctors from New York City who find themselves trapped in a magical town where everyone acts, sings, and dances as if they're in a Golden Age musical. Boasting a phenomenal leading cast, including Alex Brightman, known for his Broadway roles in Beetlejuice and School of Rock, and Sarah Chase from The Great Gatsby. This new musical comedy will run through February 9th.
Thank you so much, Cassidy and Raina. I'm super looking forward to seeing that show at the Kennedy Center. I've heard only good things. Also, the pandas. I'm probably going to wait until it's a little warmer, but
that would be a good idea.
Definitely going to go see those.
I am personally thrilled to try out Restaurant Week. Well, I know I only have like 2 days left of it, but I definitely will try my best.
Yeah, there's still time.
Yeah, you got the weekend.
Yeah, I feel like the Lego exhibit looks really cool. I do collect Legos, so I feel like it'd be really cool to see. So,
oh, I think so too. And just the size and number and how world famous it is.
Definitely,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm personally really excited to see the musical because I love Alex Brightman from Beetlejuice. It's an amazing musical, so I think he's going to do great in that.
I love it.
Perfect. Thank you again,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you. The Trump administration has rescinded an order temporarily freezing federal financial assistance. The freeze was put in place to evaluate how these programs were impacted by executive orders involving, quote, DEI, woke gender ideology, and the Green New Deal, unquote. The Office of Management and Budget's rescission of that memo that laid out the terms of the freeze comes in the wake of programs that would be affected. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt posted on X that the OMB's retraction will not change anything, saying, quote, the president's EOs on federal funding remain in full force and effect and will be rigorously implemented, unquote.
2 weeks ago, DC's NFL team, the Washington Commanders, defeated the Detroit Lions, advancing to the NFC Championship game. This game was the furthest the Commanders have advanced in more than 30 years. Rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels led the team to this exciting face-off. Despite an upsetting loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, the Commanders have promised a bright future ahead for football in the district. That's all we have for you this episode. For GWN, I'm Abigail Brubaker.
And I'm Nina Rodriguez. Thank you all for watching.
I think this is great, and I think we did an excellent job.